What's going on? I'm going to talk a little news. Welcome to the news live stream, the commentary live stream, the commentary that involves the news, newsmentary. I guess that's what we'll call it. What's up, Kevin? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Up in the chat already. 20 seconds in. Ding, 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 ding. Winner. Some funny news today, man. Funny and interesting news. Well, this news, let's face it, this is from last week. I don't know if you all remember Kim Jong-un. Un-il. It's kind of a sick rap name. Un-il. Uno-il. Kim Jong-un? I think that's what it is. I got them all confused. The grandpappy, the dad, and then the son. The line of authoritarians. Kim Jong-un. Un-il. Kim Jong, what his friends call him. He is the dictator of North Korea, the closed off to the world. But is it totally closed off? I guess it's like sanctioned into being closed off, but I've seen YouTubers travel to North Korea. And they stay in this one weird hotel. They all stay in the one weird hotel. They all drive by the fake grocery stores. But last week on Thursday, Kim Jong-un had some not so nice words, not very excited for Trump, for his BFF, for his Rocket Man BFF to be president again. Looks like Kim Jong-un found a new bestie. We're going to talk about it. And then, I don't know if you play around with ChatGPT or AI, but if you type in the name David Mayer, got to be related to John, right? If you type in David Mayer, M-A-Y-E-R, ChatGPT will end the conversation and then force close on you, which is hilarious. And again, I link all the articles where I talk about the news down below. So if you want to read this stuff for yourself, I highly encourage you to. That's why I link them down below. M. Dot, what's up? David did your ChatGPT is a Wonderland, and it got shut down. This is actually a cool story. So we're going to talk about Kim Jong-un, Rocket Man, falling out of love with Trump so fast. He had some harsh words for USA, too. He wasn't wrong, but they were harsh. I don't know how Trump's going to handle this. You know, he's used to the adoration. And Kim Jong-un, he got a new BFF. LOL, skibbity riz, and other words like that. So we'll talk about Trump, but this David Mayer ChatGPT story is fascinating. There's an app for ChatGPT that you can utilize. It's cool. I love this stuff. I don't think kids should be using it for school. Let me get that out of the way. But it's fascinating. I like technology. I think this stuff is cool. And ChatGPT, go ahead, test this out. John Mayer's cousin, I'm assuming, probably like a 16th cousin, and he's got to be in the EU, and we'll get to why he's in the European Union later. But if you type David Mayer into ChatGPT, like tell me something about David Mayer, or slip David Mayer into into the context, or I'm guessing you got to ask ChatGPT about it. I'm guessing you can't just say it in a sentence. Maybe. I don't know. Test it out. I haven't tested this out. What's up, Dinesh? But if you type David Mayer into your ChatGPT, it will tell you, I can't tell you anything about that. And then it will force close and have to open a new, not window, but a new conversation. We'll start a new conversation with you. And people were freaking out. That's what this article, did the tattoo on your throat hurt? No, it did not. A lot of skin. It's just skin. Or in my case, muscle. Just kidding. Sometimes I let ChatGPT my girlfriend for me. It's insane. Louis Vuitton. That is fucking hilarious. Oh, see, that's what I mean. There are people who are creatives like old Louis Vuitton, and you could come up with creative ways to use ChatGPT. I'm telling you, there is hilarity and comedy in this. But But if you type David Mayer in, it shuts it down and people are freaking out. And then if you go into Reddit, where I like to get my news, and you read the Reddit comments, people are very wise, very mean sometimes, and very wise in the Reddit comments. That should be its own Reddit thread, Reddit forum, Reddit comments. Is that? There's got to be a Reddit thread or forum. What do you call it? Subreddit. There's got to be a subreddit called Reddit comments. And they got to award somebody every day. Because the Reddit comments are brilliant. That's usually where I try to look first about the story, and then I'll go read it, and then I'll go back to the comments and keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. Just a heads up, if you like to read your news on Reddit. But the Reddit comments pointed out that in the European Union, there is this law called the right to be forgotten. And we're going to talk about Trump in a minute. This law called the right to be forgotten. And apparently you can have your data scrubbed. If there's stuff from your past or whatever, your data scrubbed so Google and all these search engines can't provide information on you, which I thought was fucking brilliant. How nice would that be? You just want the right to be forgotten about. I don't want to be on this thing called the internet. And apparently Mr. David Meyer, who's in the European Union, utilized this. So ChatGPT obviously scrubs the whole interwebs. And because of that privacy law that the European Union has, ChatGPT can't snitch on this dude. Like, I can't tell you nothing. We got to start a new conversation. I'm sorry. You have foregone my intellectual prowess, and I got to stay mum on this topic, which is really fascinating. And I linked an article. What about criminal record? Well, he obviously doesn't have one. But if you're interested in this like I am, I put a link down below from some firstamendment.org website where it discusses the differences between America and the EU and how the EU allowed the right to be forgotten law and what it is. But then it also documents court cases here in America, which I was reading, which are just fascinating, of different court cases where people wanted to apply essentially a right to be forgotten law, have their data scrubbed from the internet, so Google and these huge tech companies could not, resurface and repurpose their internet footprint, I guess. I don't know, because it really pertains to everything. And it documents the court cases of how it's been shot down by different district courts and circuit courts and whatever, appeal courts and all that here in America. So we do not have the right to be forgotten law. But if you live in the EU, God bless you, because you can, I don't know how you apply for that. I would in a heartbeat and just have all my stuff scrubbed. And then I would start a new alias. So, and that's what's going on. If you type in David Meyer or tell me about David Meyer into ChatGPT, it will shut the down real quick and say, we got to start a new conversation. I'm not allowed to talk about that dude. And it's hilarious. But then there was some debate on this on the Reddit comments, and people saying, really, there's only one dude named David Meyer? And I guess if one dude named David Meyer applies the right to be forgotten law, it applies to all David Meyers. David Meyer's got to be a pretty common name, right? John Mayer? Is it David Mayer? M-A-Y-E-R? Yeah, it's got to be Mayer. I know a Meyer. It's a Mayer. Yeah, check the link. I would listen, I would be doing it too, Louis. But so I linked not only the story about ChatGPT shutting down, force closing on you if you mention his name, David Mayer, which the oddest thing about this is that now everybody's probably trying to find out who the hell is David Mayer in the EU. How did he get his thing scrubbed? Why does he short circuit ChatGPT? It's hilarious. The attention his name is now getting from being scrubbed from the internet. Like if his name wasn't scrubbed and his stuff was on there, but either way, it's fascinating. It's a good read. I linked that article, and I also linked one about the right to be forgotten law in the EU. Oh, I didn't even say, if you're new here, hit subscribe. I'm so bad at this. God. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I go live every weekday. That's Monday through Friday. And I say hit the notification bell so you can join me in the chat like Mr. Louis Vuitton. So yeah, God dang, I should have said that a while ago. I'm still getting the hang of this. Only been doing the live stream for what, 6-7 months now? Takes a while. Says you got to do it 21 days to make it a habit, right? I think I'm there. So hit subscribe and hit the notification bell. All right. So Kim Jong-un called Donald Trump a dotard. Now, I think it might be pronounced differently than that, dotard, but I'm using the word dotard. And that is a fine diss, if I may say so. You know Kim Jong-un was not educated in North Korea because that dude's got the language of a Merriam-Webster. Who is Miss Merriam-Webster? I've never met her. She must have had a love and affinity for words. But Kim Jong-un was breaking out, making people break out the dictionary of the thesaurus to look up dotard. It just means like a mentally aging, declining person, but in like a diss track, you know? Eminem should use that word. That's a great word. Has Eminem used that? I don't know. But I'm putting it into my lexicon from now on. That's entering my vocabulary. Well, it's usually, if you listen to any of the speeches or anything, there's usually a translator over it. But Kim Jong-un gave a speech last Thursday on our Thanksgiving. You picked a great day to make some news. And he said, I'm not interested in having a relationship with Trump in the U.S. He says the U.S. is more into use of force than coexisting. He like just read the U.S. the Riot Act, which is funny coming from a dude who, you know, feeds his family to the dogs. But he was not wrong. It's not to say there isn't irony in him calling us out with the use of force, but he's not wrong in that sense. You know, the use of force. America is like the military cops of the world. They're kicking in doors everywhere. So he wasn't wrong. It's just fascinating now that North Korea, Kim Jong-un, and Putin have like a solid alliance, and Putin with all the international politics and wars going on. Now that Putin's got Kim Jong-un as a BFF, they don't need Trump anymore. Though we do know Trump and Putin are very, very close. Putin's got the PP tape. So I'm interested to see how this will play out. And I'm interested. I didn't even look up if Trump made a response. You got to be so busy if you're Trump trying to respond to everybody who dogs you. But you'd think he'd make a point to being called a dotard. He didn't like the red button comment. Ooh, I didn't know the red button comment. I'm going to look that up. Thank you, Louis. But yeah, man, it's interesting to see world leaders squabble like they're 7th grade bitches. Just using fancy language, calling him a dotard. And I thought that was a good moment to have a reading rainbow moment. We could learn a word, dotard, mentally declining fool. I love that word. I gotta like write it on my hand so I could start to use it. I don't know. Do you guys write stuff on your hand? I'll write stuff on my hand to remember it. So I'm going to write dotard on my hand so that way when I'm in the appropriate situation, I can utilize that word and get into a habit of using dotard. When Trump said he had a bigger red button. That's what I mean. Like, that's some 7th grade. That's some middle school squabble stuff. I got a bigger red button than you. Oh, yeah? In your pants. Oh, man. These ladies running the world, they're all so sensitive. It's so funny. You got to be so busy to try to pick a fight with everybody who don't like you. I just ignore them. Shit. I had that much money. I'd be like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you over my Scrooge McDuck piles of money. Get out of here. And I mean, if Trump really wanted to dog him, he'd be like, don't you have some family members to feed to dogs or something? Like, I want to see this turn into like an Anthony Jeselnik style roast. If these world leaders are going to go cutthroat on each other, let's throw it down. You know, presidents, world leaders, get some comedy writers. Get some really talented comedy writers to stop doing this like off the cuff, I'm going to diss you and come up with the nickname. Let's go professional. Okay, this is my entry to politics. I say you hire comedy writers like Jeff Ross, the king of the roast mayor, whatever they call him, Captain Roastin, and you hire some people like that to go on the world stage and fire off some fire disses. You shouldn't say fire off fire disses. Fire off some hot tracks, hot diss tracks. That's what they should be doing. There's a whole thing going on now. Canada and Mexico are beefing. Woo! That's what I mean. Justin Trudeau. Hire a comedy writer. Who's a good comic out of Canada? There's got to be some. Trailer Park Boys, those guys are hilarious. Mexico, Mexico's got some good comedy. I say all these world leaders have a comedy writer on staff. I don't know how they compete with some of the American comics we have, though. And then you just go out there and you light them up like it was a Comedy Central roast. Because it's mostly all talk anyways. It's all talk to the cameras, and then behind doors are all shaking hands because they're all wealthy together, partying at each other's house on long weekends. But who wouldn't like to see that, right? Let's be honest. Hey, what's up, Tarush? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Glad you could stop by. You're catching the tail end of it. But I was talking about how world leaders should hire comedy writers to write roasts of other world leaders. Instead of this like political mumbo jumbo nickname clevery whatever they think they're doing, I say get comedy writers to dig up some dirt and treat it like a Comedy Central role. Go hard at these people, embarrass them on the world stage. What do you got to lose? What do you got to lose, huh? All right, guys. If you could, hit subscribe and hit the notification bell. I try to bring you some interesting stories every weekday, and we comment on them, and we chop it up in the chat. Thank you, Louis Vuitton, for all of your input today. Fascinating stuff. I hope you hit subscribe, and I hope you hit the notification bell. I would love it if you joined me again tomorrow and every other day this week. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope the rest of your day goes amazing. Thank you guys for joining me. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Peace.